Everybody needs to find a purpose, like find a reason why you go to the gym. And typically, in my experience, like superficial reasons aren't enough. So if it's just to look better, some people that keeps some people going. It does, but typically that's not enough to keep you getting to the gym every day at 5 a.m. Right? So find a purpose, find a reason why. And when you start to get sluggish or fall off or unmotivated, you always need to go back to that why I got back in the gym to begin with.
Hey y'all, welcome back to the Because Adulting is Hard podcast. I'm Alita and this is Ross Love and David Hawk. And Ross is actually the owner of Ross, used to be Ross Fit in Friendswood. That's how I have the connection to it because it was in the same strip center as the Funky Monkey. But you've moved on now and opened a gym called Peak Performance Warehouse. We're going to talk a little bit first about the gym, and then we're going to talk about what we're doing just health and fitness wise. I mean, there's such a correlation between mental health and physical health. And I mean, we know that right now anxiety is an all-time high because people haven't left their house in 5 months. Right. So let's talk a little bit about the gym first, Ross.
All right, guys. Thanks for having us today. We're Peak Performance Warehouse. We're a 6,300 square foot air-conditioned warehouse gym in Friendswood, Texas. We do offer group training, personal training, rowing classes, and athletic training classes. We're a family-friendly gym. We prioritize family first. We have a little bit of everything to accommodate everybody in your family, and that's where we are.
I think that's a pretty. That's a good way to describe it as a family-friendly gym. I have been to other gyms. Ross is probably the smallest gym that I've ever been to. I was just telling them before that as a female, one of the things that's very intimidating to me going to the gym, and I hate to generalize it like this, but it is a male culture that happens in the gym and it's very intimidating to females, especially beginning females in fitness. And this gym absolutely does not have that. I will see Ross's mom there. I will see Ross's sister there. David's wife has been in a class with me. I've seen David's daughter there. I mean, the boys are there. This is a family-owned business. I mean, Ross's dad teaches classes, rowing classes at the gym. That's what makes this gym, to me, different than other gyms. I know I said we weren't going to focus on the Rona for very long, but we do. I have to be honest. I have to say gyms and bars worry me. I mean, as a retail business owner, I'm struggling. I know that y'all are because of the mandates. So let's talk a little bit about, I hate to say, I said we weren't going to harp on the Rona because I don't want to do that. But we do have to talk about that gyms and bars have been hugely impacted by that. So talk to me a little bit about what has happened at the gym with y'all.
We've been impacted for sure. We've done our best to follow CDC guidelines and things like that to make the environment safely as possible. You know, we at first we're 6 feet apart, limiting our class sizes, even blocking out hours of the day where we were only doing personal training in the gym to keep everybody spread apart, just to create the safest environment we possibly can.
And y'all did take some classes outside, but let's be honest. I mean, it's August, y'all. August in Texas. It's hot. I mean, there's a lot of things. So y'all went through that. I know that y'all had some cases come through the gym that affected everybody. You had it sanitized. You did all of those things. I mean, but at the end of the day, you've lost clients from fear, correct? I mean, is that what you would call it, David?
Fear, maybe just more of, like you said, the anxiety side of it. People just, oh my gosh, there's been a virus, the virus is coming to the gym. I don't want to get it, so on and so forth. So I'm just going to stay home, right? So yeah, absolutely. There's been a drop off because of that, I feel. Outside that, we did everything we could, the best we could to, make sure everything was taken care of appropriately. Like you said, sanitizing everything. I think Ross had hired a company at the time to come in over the weekend as soon as we had gotten tested and all this stuff and found out everything was going on and, took care of all that. And like I said, we just did the best we could to make sure that we took care of the situation appropriately and followed the CDC guidelines.
And I think that's all. I think that's all that any owner at this point can do. I mean, I'm going to tell you. I mean, we went to Astroworld, and I said, let's be honest, or not Astroworld, Six Flags. I was thinking we went to Six Flags, and I was like, hey, y'all, this is probably the cleanest it's ever been. But let's be real, it's still Six Flags. I mean, it's an outdoor park, y'all. It's never. I mean, a gym is a place that we can sanitize, we can do these things, but the benefit that's coming from, for me, I know by y'all remaining open, it was a consistent place. As a person, I've told both of these guys before, as a person that's lost 100 pounds twice in my life, I'm not going back. Going backwards is not an option. Yeah. And now, over doing this long enough, I've learned that if I don't be consistent and I don't start with fitness right at the beginning, it doesn't work. And I mean, that's the same thing. I know that you've talked about that a lot recently.
Yeah, the gym is definitely an outlet for me. Working out is an outlet for me. Exercise is a means of coping with stress or whatever I'm going through. When we quarantined back in March, April, we were doing online workouts from home, and I was working out 2 or 3 times a day. I quit drinking during that time. Yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, this is the thing that a small family gym, I'm watching Ross model to me. I'm like, dude, these 2 men, and I'm gonna be real honest, the Derby chick in me the Derby chick in me does not take instructions from men well, because I'm like, you don't know. I mean, but watching you model to me, and combined with Brenda, my skating coach, saying, move your body. And I'm like, well, I don't work out 3 times a day. You're damn right. Damn wrong during the Rona. I sure did, because I didn't know any other way than to replicate what I was seeing. The stop drinking.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, alcohol, instead of using it as a coping mechanism, I used exercise as a coping mechanism. And I was going out, I get frustrated with everything I couldn't control. So I go out in the garage and work out in the garage for a little while.
And you've got young children.
Yep.
2 young children. You've got a daughter. We're all doing the same thing, but providing this, the gym is providing to me, this gym in particular, is providing to me a group mentality that is accepting of, I mean, there are people that still wear masks in the gym, correct? I mean, we've made them.
We encourage people to do whatever that makes them comfortable.
I mean, I've seen people that literally go from equipment to equipment and clean their stuff. I'm fine with that. I mean, there's people, I'm a Derby girl. I'm laying on the ground. It's not going to make any difference to me. I mean, at the end of the day, but if we're not doing these behavior, if we don't continue, we were just talking about teens. If we don't continue to model to our teens healthy coping mechanisms, that's where we have an increase in inability to cope, an increase in suicide, increase in those rates, in those things.
I think that's been my biggest frustration the entire time, is the negative connotation that's gone on the fitness industry, right? As far as being in the gym, and forget the gym, put the gym aside for a second. Because I mean, really, I feel like I'm speaking for everyone that owns a gym today, right? Not just
you myself. Are, because we were Clay was literally just on the phone with the gym owner.
Yeah.
Telling us the same thing.
Yeah. And I feel like, not enough emphasis has been put on your personal health, the things you can control, right?
Let's say that again, because you said this in the beginning, and I want you to reiterate that. So you said the focus has been on the negative, correct?
Yeah, it's everything we shouldn't be doing. You shouldn't be going anywhere without wearing a mask. You shouldn't be doing this. You shouldn't be doing that. Gathering in large groups. And nobody has really stepped up and put an emphasis on, well, what you should be doing? You should be improving your cardiovascular system. You should be eating correctly. You should be making your body a defense mechanism for the virus, essentially. And the only way to do that is improve your overall health. So that's where I was at during the whole quarantine process, not going crazy at home, stir crazy, worrying about things I can't control.
Because there's absolutely, not even just related to this virus, but in general, we know, I mean, you see people that come from doctors all the time that their doctors have told them, if you don't start exercising, you're gonna die.
Yeah, absolutely.
I told my dad this early on when all this first started going on. I hope this is a wake-up call for people that, and I don't want to sound too disparaging, but like people that have self-inflicted health issues, right? Like if you put yourself in a position to be afraid to leave your house due to a virus you cannot control, then the only thing you can control is improving your health to where you're not afraid to leave your house due to a virus.
I mean, and at 100 pounds bigger than I am right now, at 100 pounds bigger than I am not in a healthy position to take care of myself, my cardiovascular system, my eating habits, my mental health, all those things. And I am hoping that we come out of this with a healthy outlook as well. because if we don't, we're just breeding a culture of people that, like you said, self-inflicted ailments, basically. I mean, we're not making that up, y'all. I mean, that's fact.
Yeah,
so going forward, I know that we are doing personal training. So what else are y'all offering at the gym?
So we offer group classes.
What does that look like right now?
So right now, typically we have a 5 a.m., an 8:30 a.m., and a 5 p.m. class. The
5 a.m. class was booming this morning.
Yeah, absolutely was. We had about 9-10 people in there.
Good, yeah.
Yeah, so that's starting to pick back up again.
Right.
And again, I think that correlates with people are anxious, people are cooped up, and
they're starting to go back to work.
They're starting to go back to work.
And for those of us that come at 5 a.m., we're the pre-workers. I mean, we're those of us that are already running on high.
Yes.
And we need to be there at 5 a.m.
Yeah, and most of the people that are at 5 a.m., I mean, anybody can come in, right? But a lot of those people, like you said, are the ones that typically get up. They're kind of regimented, right? They get up, they go to the gym, they eat their breakfast at a certain time, they get ready, they go to work, right? I mean, that's typically what I've seen with that group. But yeah, it's starting to pick up and get, we're starting to have more people there. Same thing with our 8:30 class. 8:30 class is more the people that, sleeping a little bit. They, typically they're the moms and stuff that are, taking the kids to school and doing that stuff.
Y'all are picking back up with kids because I know that we've done that. Like, I mean, we do, David and I specifically work on, I mean, I'm here to get better. I mean, at the end of the day, I'm here to get better at roller derby. I mean, I know that sounds.
But you have a purpose for working.
But I have a purpose, and the kids are the same way. I mean, I was just when we were talking to Shanna from Chara Christian Dance. That is what these kids. That's that same routine that they have to have. So y'all do y'all do youth training as well, correct?
I've been talking to a lot of the parents, and they've all been just really excited about this past 3 months or so. We had about 35 kids enrolled in our athletics class. It's been a great summer. It's been the best summer we've ever had, not in terms of necessarily numbers, but in terms of results. We had a really well done program this summer. Coach Anthony and Coach Don did a great job leading the way on that. And just the kids made so much progress, maybe because that was their main focus. A lot of them were like waiting to come work out. You know what I mean? Not getting to run around the neighborhoods and do normal stuff they would otherwise be doing. They got to come to the gym, an hour of undivided attention, really put in a lot of work. And now those kids are moving on to football for the most part. So one thing we're doing is we're looking at basketball, volleyball, all the off-season sports that won't be getting going until October, November, or whatever happens at this point. We don't know.
And there's such limited, and that was one of the things that is promising to me, because we don't know what school's going to look like. We don't know if they're going, we don't know if they're not going. But these kids that have been, that's what we want for our kids. I want my kids to know that if you train your body, that it makes endorphins that make, we had a rule at my house. You don't have to do a whole lot of things, but you've got to get out of this house and move your body for 1 hour during this Rona, because you can ride your bike, you can skate, you can swim, you can do whatever. But if you're not moving your body, my kids, I can see the same things in them that I see in me. Right. The sluggishness, the poor attitude, the crappy eating, because they're just So, I am so grateful that y'all have muscled through. I know that you've had more than one conversation about this gym, because, if you're not a small business owner at this point, having those conversations, you're just, good for you. But, the rest of us are still doing hard things. And I look forward to, y'all, this is a tiny gym that is looking to serve our kids. You went to Friendswood High School, didn't you?
I did for 1 year, yep.
Yep, went to Friendswood High School. Ross lives right here in the community. So does David. Y'all, this is what we're looking for, that small business feel in a gym. This is it. I would encourage y'all, if you have any questions, all the links will be up here on this post, all of the things. Any things that you can ask. Like I said, I'm doing personal training. You're nice enough to, if I pay for personal training, you get group training for free.
Sure.
Sweet. Yeah. Love it. Because it is an outlet. It is an outlet for people not only that are looking to get healthy, but who have worked really hard to make it this far and are just so determined that this isn't going to take them down.
Yeah, one thing I wanted to say, and we talked about this before we walked in, was everybody needs to find a purpose, like find a reason why you go to the gym. And typically, in my experience, like superficial reasons aren't enough. So if it's just to look better, some people that keeps some people going. It does, but typically that's not enough to keep you getting to the gym every day at 5 a.m. Right? So find a purpose, find a reason why. And when you start to get sluggish or fall off or unmotivated, you always need to go back to that why I got back in the gym to begin with. And if you always go back to that reason,
it is not the scale. I think that's the biggest difference. It's taken. I mean, I've worked out with you for a long time, Ross. This has been a long journey for me. But I've gone from, oh my God, if I could just weigh 135 pounds, I would work out every day and I will eat nothing too.
Sure.
Oh wait, yo dog, it's really not going to matter. I mean, my body weight is going to fluctuate sometimes, but exercise, the endorphins and the consistency of the routine is a mental health game changer for me. It is.
And being happy with the progress, you don't have to be satisfied with where you're at, but being happy with the progress you made is super important. You know, being able to take a step back and appreciate losing 5, 10, 15, 20 pounds.
And being consistent. I mean, to me, a lot of what I gave myself grace in was I'm going to consistently move my body 30 minutes a day because I just told my family this the other day. It's the place that I pray. It's the place that I cry. I mean, I cry on my roller skates sometimes. I mean, all of the things, because it's, for me, one of the few times that I'm doing something only for myself. You know, it benefits those. It definitely benefits those around me that don't have to be around explosive Alita. You know, I mean, helps keep that reined in a little bit. Yeah. But really, it's the consistency and the routine, and it's giving yourself grace, learning to give yourself grace with progress. Acknowledge the daily steps and the things that you're doing, and getting stronger every day that make.
Focus on your micro goals, like setting small goals along the way in order to help you reach your macro goals, your big goals, right? But there has to be focus on either daily or weekly goals, monthly goals, small ones along the way in order to reach your long goals. You know?
Absolutely. Y'all, this is a great gym. Check it out. It's at Peak Performance Warehouse. Like I said, we'll hook it all up above. I appreciate y'all boys coming.
Thank you.
No problem. Thank you for having us.
Thanks so much. And remember to live happier, because adulting is hard.